So thank you. It's a pleasure for being here. Oh, I have a lovely timer. 27 minutes left. Okay. Okay. So 3 minutes have already gone, huh? Okay. Okay. So anyways, well, these are always challenging. It's always intimidating to talk to an audience. You're hopefully not here to see how I look because nothing remarkable. If you're here to listen to me speak, I genuinely rate myself, 6 on 10. I'll mumble jumble my way around. If you're here to see how I write, my books are right there at the end at the bookstore, and there's a couple of them. Please do pick them up. So that leaves us. Maybe you're here to listen to how I think, and that's what I will do. I think for the next 26 minutes, 35 seconds, just share some of my thoughts on my personal and professional journey. The whole theme, of course, is around financial freedom, is about professional success, and through my successes and failures. If some of these thoughts resonate with some of you, I think that will be a 30 minutes well spent. I see a range of audience, right? I mean, there's a lot of youth, there are adults, so I'll just try to tailor it accordingly. So anyways, talking about financial freedom first. So let me just go back to my college days. I was, I think, 18 or 19 years old. I was in second year college in the US. And for some reason, I hadn't started working. I was not sure what I was going to graduate in. I was doing a variety of subjects. But for some reason, I thought, how much money do I need to retire? Right at the age of 20, that was the question that came to my mind. How much money do I need to be able to just give everything up and do whatever I want? So I took a piece of paper and pen, and I did some calculations, and I just calculated, what do I think I will need in life, right? And I came up with a number. And genuinely, this is all true. I took that number and wrote it on a piece of paper, and I put that paper in my wallet. And I put 2-3 other goals in it. I would like to publish a book by the time I'm 35. I would like to be quoted in a newspaper by the time I'm 30. So I put an age to all this. And I put a number to that age also. I think I put 35. And I put it in my wallet. Yeah, so this is the number I need to reach. Trust me, it just seemed impossible. But the good thing is I had a number, right? And that was a number, I didn't even know what it means, right? But to me, now I understand that number was financial freedom. That this is something that you can calculate to be financially free. Now let me just define what financial freedom is, right? Financial freedom is not being rich, right? Because being rich is relative, right? I might be rich compared to someone else. I might be poor compared to someone else. It's a never-ending cycle. You never know when it ends. You never know when the money race stops, right? So I never use the objective in life for me, and I think for people, should not be to be rich, because that's an objective you never know when you will achieve. The objective is to have enough, right? To have enough that you can sustain a comfortable standard of living, and you have time to do everything that you enjoy, right? So that has always been my target, and the number, when I had it in my wallet, the good thing is at the age of 20, I had a target which was enough, right? And I'm not saying that number was correct, right? At 20, you have a different view of the world, and that number kept changing. The number kept changing, but at least I had a target. The other benefit of having a target is, it is extremely liberating. My entire life, I have not bothered about how much money other people are making, who's getting promotions faster than me, slower than me, who's doing better, who has a bigger car, who has a smaller car. It has not bothered me at all, because my target is not dependent on other people's journeys. It is my own journey, right? And that has been actually very liberating, because I just find so many people stuck in the rat race, not enjoying their own successes, but more worried about other people's successes. And I've managed thousands of people, and I've congratulated someone that you've got promoted, and they go to the room very happy. And then 10 minutes later, they'll come back, oh no, but he got promoted, and he's one batch junior to me. How did he get promoted? I'm saying, how does it matter, right? You got promoted, you should be happy. But I think when you start competing with other people, that whole, I think it takes away the joy from your life. So having a financial target, having a number, I think helped me in a lot of ways. The good thing is that this number can be calculated, and it's different for different people, right? But you can calculate broadly what you need to have enough. And I talk about that in my book. I have a website, I have all these calculators over there. All of you, no matter where you are, in what stage in life, you can do a broad analysis of how much money you need to have enough. Now, coming to my journey, I had a strong educational background in India. I went to the US, I got into good universities, I got into MNC companies, and I worked my way up, right? I started my first job at 24. As they said, I left. I left the corporate world at 40. That, I've had enough of this full-time office routine. So 16 years. 16 years, I'll be honest, I worked hard. I worked hard. And as you start, you work really hard in the beginning, and then you climb the ladder. So you start literally at the bottom. And by the time I left, I was at the top. Equally, there was no major windfall. I'm in Bangalore. I know half of you over here must be sitting on ESOPs worth whatever. I worked with two companies largely. I worked with Citibank. When I joined them, the stock price was $400. When I left them, the stock price was $10. Right? I had nothing to do with it, but that's how the markets were, right? And the I left in 2009, and the crash, whoever was familiar with banking, the big crash happened in 2008. So literally all my $400 stocks ESOPs were worth $10, obviously worth nothing. And then I joined Aviva Life Insurance. And again, I was in the India franchise. They gave me ESOPs in the UK company. When I joined, the stock price was $4. When I left, it was £4. When I left, it was £4. I left in 2015. Today, for the first time after 9 years, I genuinely went to Google to see what the stock price is right now. It's £4. So ESOPs and all that, there's been no major windfall. It's just been largely salaries. It's just been a good regular. It has been a certain level of privilege, but it has not been a windfall, and it's not been super tough. It has just been very, very simple things, doing things simply and doing things consistently. And in my book, I talk about this entire system, and I just call it pigs, products, and parachutes. Very simply, you'll be wondering, the book is called 3 Pigs to Financial Freedom. The 3 pigs, I say, is that everyone just open 3 bank accounts. Right? Open 3 bank accounts, ideally in 3 different banks. Why 3 accounts, right? So I call them the pigs, right, based on piggy banks. So one is the wants account. One is the needs account. The first one is the needs account, which is just for your day-to-day needs, right? Your electricity bills, your rent, your Ubers, your food, your groceries. All that is needs. You need money for needs. So keep one account for that. Second is keep a separate account for wants. Wants are all those things you want in life. You're the big thing. You want a good education for your kids. You want a car. You want a house. You want foreign holidays. You want an executive education program for yourself. Have a separate bank account for that called wants. And the third is freedom. Right? So have a bank account where literally you're just putting in money. It's one way. You're not withdrawing it until you are financially free. So that's an account where you will not touch for the next 10, 15 years. So open these 3 accounts. Those are your 3 pigs. The next is products. In each of these accounts, buy a bunch of products. And I've been a banker for 20 years. I've been in financial services. We make things very, very complicated. Right? Honestly, you'd need just a couple of products. In your needs account, what do you need? You literally need a debit card, you need a credit card, you need some UPI mechanism, because all you're doing is making payments. You don't need to invest anything over there, you don't need to buy anything, just use it for making payments. That is the accounts your bankers will hate the most, right? Because they are making no money off it. But it's fine. For you, it's a transaction account. The wants account, all I have suggested is you need mutual funds, right? Now, what kind of mutual funds? I go a bit into detail. It is depending when you want. There are some wants you'll want 2 years down the line. Someone will want, I want to buy a car 2 years down the line. Equally, the same account, you want your child's education 15 years down the line. So you'll need some different kind of mutual funds, which I've explained exactly what you need to do. But don't complicate life. That's exactly all you need in a wants account. And in a freedom account, I have said you need literally 3 or 4 products. Again, you need long-term mutual funds, you need a little bit of gold, you need your PPF, EPF, and I've also just explained how much you need to put into all that. It's a bit cumbersome to open 3 accounts, right? We find it hard enough to manage one. But again, I found clarity, right? To me, it's always, once I have clarity on something, life just becomes simpler. Once you have 3 accounts, and I still continue to maintain 3 accounts, I still maintain my 3 accounts, you get this clarity. And then all I say is, for whoever is salaried, or even if you're a freelancer, business income, 100 rupees comes in. And again, I tell you how to calculate it. But let's say, put 60 rupees in your needs, right? And just spend that. Put 30 rupees in wants. Put 10 rupees in freedom. And just do this regularly. And the numbers can change, right? You put 80, 20, 80, 10, 10, whatever. It depends on your individual circumstances. But just divide your income at the beginning of the month, and then just follow the process. So you get, I think, immense clarity once you do this. There's no signal, so I'm keeping on going then. 15 minutes more, okay. Um, okay, so just two things. So, I mean, this is what you need to do. You just follow the process. And just two things I would caution to the youth, particularly over here, and all the fintech people and all who are out there, selling loans are going to hate me. But one is, I think I would really advise, try to avoid loans as much as you can, right? Because the interest, the late fees, it really upsets your financial plan. It is very difficult to earn 10, 15, 20% return on your investments. While you end up paying 30, 35, 40% sometimes on your credit card outstandings, on your buy now, pay later, where you default on your personal loans. So it is just not worth it. As far as possible, try to save the money and buy what you want. If you're taking stuff on credit cards or zero EMIs, make sure you clear it up before you get hit with the charges. So one is, I think, loans, be careful. The caveats, home loans, I would endorse completely. You're investing in an asset which is growing. And education loans, again, I'm a strong believer in the power of education. So if you're investing in yourself, and which will pay off in higher income and all in the future, please go ahead. And number two is just speculation. Anything you don't understand, I consider gambling. And I have nothing against gambling, right? I'm happy to go to a casino. I'm happy to, gamble. But even if I'm going to a casino, I know literally I leave my wallet in the room. I go with exactly as much money as I'm okay to lose. And once it's over, I come back. And so that's perfectly fine. If you want to gamble, if you want to, and I'm saying anything you don't understand. I don't understand Bitcoin. I don't understand a lot of these bubbles, right? I'm okay to invest in it, but as long as I'm okay to lose the entire money. So if you're buying stocks on some hot tip, which your friend is giving you, if you're betting on a horse because someone said that, if you're buying bitcoins and all just because someone else is buying it and you don't understand it, I consider it gambling. And then just keep a very, very small percentage of your amount of your wealth which you're okay to lose. And otherwise, just do the basic things, right? Do your mutual funds, do your equity, do your debt, do gold, PPFs, stuff like that. So these are the two things I would kind of caution against. So when it comes to financial freedom, I think it's a journey. It's a journey that can be navigated. It is doable, right? I'm not saying now when you hit financial freedom, again, depends on what that number is. What is your number of enough? But just do the right things. Obviously, you need the markets and the economies to support. I mean, they've been very supportive the last 20 years. I feel there's no reason why they should not support to some extent over the next 20. So that's on financial freedom. Now, on achieving success, I have learned the hard way that to be successful, whether in the corporate world, whether anywhere, you have to be different. In some way, you have to be different. And again, a quick story. So I went to undergrad in the US, and I was 22 when I decided I wanted to do my MBA directly. And even at that time, and that was the mid-90s, but you needed a lot of work experience to get into a good business school, which I did not have. But I made the applications, I went for the interview, I had good grades and all, so I got into Cornell for my MBA, which was great. I was very happy. I got into Cornell and I joined Cornell. Now, the challenge was I was 22, all my classmates were 29, 30. And so in exams and all, it's fine. Again, in India, we're experts at flipping through books and passing exams with flying colors. But in the real world, it really didn't matter, right? I wanted to do banking. All my classmates wanted to do banking. And so we were applying. We were going for the same interviews. And rightfully so, all these investment banks would ask me, you are 22, your classmates have 8 years of experience. Why would we hire you? And there's really no good, strong reason. And so I figured I'm not getting any jobs. Even though I'm being even at Cornell, I'm not getting jobs. So I decided to, and this was again pre-Google and stuff, so I called up a lot of the alums in the banking industry, and I said, what is the most boring job that is available in banks? And consistently this term came up, risk management, right? No one wanted to do risk management. It was a very, very boring job. I said, okay, that's what I want to do. So I decided I'm going to do risk management. I had no idea as well what it is, right? But I said, I have to be different, otherwise there's no way I'm going to get into a bank. So suddenly I'm going to interviews, I read about risk management. I said, I went to every interview charged up. I want to be a risk manager. And literally people are shocked, right? They are finding it hard to fill up jobs even internally. And suddenly a Cornell MBA wants to do risk management. I started getting offers. I said, you want to do risk management? To come, please come. So I got my first job in Spain in risk management. And the thing is, once you enter, right, then you can navigate your way around. So I got into risk management. I literally did that for 1 or 2 years. And then I navigated my way around. I reached Citibank. I found the group I wanted to join. The key was that you have to be different if you have to stand apart. The reason I'm highlighting this now is as I think about the future, and I think about the youth, I think one of the biggest challenges that people will have is being different. And again, I'm in Bangalore, so you know the space better than me. But when I look at artificial intelligence and I just look at the capabilities and I look at the potential of what can happen, I really feel it will create a level playing field in a lot of areas. So intelligence, which we pride ourselves on a lot, right? That we are very intelligent, or my son is very intelligent, or I think intelligence will be a level playing field, because it doesn't matter how intelligent you are, because I think AI, a lot of the basic stuff, it will take care of. So people who know how to use AI will be as intelligent as the people who are inherently intelligent. That is one. Creativity as well. Even as a writer, I can tell you, right? I look at the capability of what Chat GPT in it's probably been 6 months or a year, right, since it was launched. I look at the capability of what it can generate in terms of writing. It is pretty good. It is pretty good. So writers, I think, will have a challenge. Artists, musicians, architects, anyone designing, I think any creative person to a large extent will have a challenge. And I think a lot of people are not accepting that right now, but I think everyone's saying, yeah, it can do it, but it cannot do what I do. I feel probably not. I think it will be able to do a lot of different things. So you will have to be different, and a lot of things we take for granted now, or a lot of things we believe will help us be different, will not be that way 5-6 years down the line when AI is at its full potential. Right now we're just only seeing the tip of the iceberg. So to be different, so now we have to be different. And how can you be different? I mean, there are two things that I believe, right, how you can be different. One is through experiences. So because AI will have all the knowledge, what is fed into it, but if it will not have the experiences. And so I think if you can invest time in getting experiences, whether through travel, whether through learning different subjects, different courses, investing in yourself, the more experiences you have, the better it will be. Because I think the people who will really do well are not the people who know how to develop AI and stuff like that. It's the people who know how to use it. And to use it effectively, you will have to have more experiences, because the better the prompts are, the better the questions you ask, the better you will do. Number two, I think how you will stand out in the next 5, 10, 15 years down the line. And I don't know if you all are seeing it. I feel it for sure. Maybe it's just a post-pandemic. But I feel humans in general, are becoming more impatient. They are becoming more inconsiderate. They are becoming more selfish. There's a shift in human behavior, I feel, in the last 5-7 years, globally. So to be different, I think the people who will really stand out, and I interview a lot of Gen Zs, a lot of millennials for different roles. I think the people who will really stand out are the people who are kind and who are empathetic. Because again, those are qualities that artificial intelligence thing will not have. Yeah. So genuinely, I interview people, right? I interview Gen Zs. The person who stands out is someone who will send a thank you note at the end of it, because that is otherwise unheard of. But someone just sends a thank you message, hey, I enjoyed speaking with you, and that person stands out. So if you can, take time to understand and forge human connections and, be empathetic and understand what the other person is feeling, I think you will really stand out. Because some of the careers or some of the jobs which will not go in the future, I feel, are anything which have a human connection. Right? So whether you are a gym instructor, whether you are a nurse, whether you are taking care of old people, anything, whether you're in hospitality, those are the areas I feel where the human connection has to be maintained. And that is where I think people will stand out. So I think for success for the future, I think those are two things I would invest in: experiences and empathy, and that will help you be different. There's about 8 minutes. I mean, I'll probably just end with a little Chinese parable from another book I'm reading, right? I think it's called The Importance of Living. But it's just a story, and some of you might have heard it. So there's this old man and his son, and they live on a fort. And the old man had a horse, and one day the horse ran away. And all the villagers came up to him and they said, "Oh, we are so sorry about your loss." And the old man said, "I mean, why do you think it is a loss? Why do you think it's bad luck?" The villagers went away. 1 week later, the horse came back and he had found, 20 other horses, wild horses. And so suddenly the old man had 21 horses. And the villagers came back and said, congratulations on your good luck. And he was like, why do you think it is good luck? Now there were 21 horses in the farm, and the son decided to start learning riding. So he started learning riding, and he fell down from a horse and broke his leg. And all the villagers came up to him and they said, oh, we are so sorry about your bad luck. And the old man said, why do you think it is bad luck? And then next year there was a war, and they called all the young kids to go fight in the war. But because this person's leg was broken, he did not have to go for the war. And the villagers came and they said, oh, congratulations on your good luck. And he was, why do you think it's good luck, right? And the whole point is, right, it is not about good luck or bad luck. It is about your outlook to life and how you accept situations. And as I go through life, and as I look at all the stuff that has happened, good and bad in the past, I'm actually realizing that you just never know what is good luck, what is bad luck. It is what you make of it, and it is actually what you do about it. So that's the last thing I would leave. I would like to leave you with, and particularly the youth, that a lot of crap will happen in life, right? There'll be good things, there'll be bad things. You'll go through a lot of stuff, and that is what life is. But it is really not about. Don't look at it as, it's good luck, it's bad luck, or this happened to me and I'm unfortunate and all, right? Just take it as it comes, because rest assured, whether it'll become better, it'll become worse, but it'll become different, right? And that is what it is, right? Things will just keep going. Things will keep becoming different. And I think your approach to how you deal with it is going to be much more important than actually what the situation is. So some of these are some of my thoughts, from my journey. And just wish all of you all the very best on your journey to financial freedom and all sorts of good health and happiness and everything nice.
We have time for a couple of questions.
Hi, Rishi.
Hi.
So you spoke about a couple of things. I'm just picking up threads from there. You spoke about the need for being different.
Yes.
But you also spoke about the value of some assets that you believe in, like a house or an education loan. I have also been a banker for most part of my life. I see a lot of young people with decent earning caught in this thought that they want to buy a house very early, like they're 30, 32, 35. They'll pull in all the money. Both of them will spend half of their monthly income in buying a house, because it's a long-term thing. They want to buy a bigger house for future needs and all. Maybe for 1/4 of the money, they can afford a much better house on rent.
Yeah.
And probably save the money, invest it somewhere, and then buy it maybe 5-10 years later.
Yeah.
For me, it makes far more practical sense.
Yes.
Because even if you're buying a house for a 2 crore, you'll buy it somewhere outside the city and all. Maybe for 50,000, you can stay in the city with everything. So the quality of life is far better if you're not thinking of always buying an asset at a very early age, thinking that it'll appreciate. A house may not necessarily appreciate to that extent.
So question, should we buy or should we rent?
Correct.
Yeah?
So do you think?
Yeah. I think it's a very, very important fundamental question, right? Which all of us will face. To me, it is not as much of a financial decision as it is also a personal decision, and it's a decision of how you see your life panning out. Financially, I completely agree with you, right? Financially you'll be better off renting in a pure financial sense. On the flip side, if I did not own my own house, right, there is no way I would have been able to do what I did, right? That at the age of 40, say, it's fine, I'm done with the corporate life. Because the pressure of having a monthly rent on me, the pressure of being subject to the whims of a landlord, or to being the property prices. Rentals in Bandra, Bombay right now have doubled over the last few years. All those pressures, if you own a house, will not hit you. So the way I would see is that if you plan to be, when you're financially free, if you plan to be very, very mobile and flexible, and you want to just pack up your bags and go somewhere, and I want to live in Goa for 6 months and then I'll go to the hills, and if you want that kind of lifestyle, don't buy a house. If you are expecting that you might get a house from, maybe your parents own one, you will inherit a house, you will have a place to stay, you probably can invest your money in other instruments. But if you feel that you would like some sort of stability in your life, if you feel that you might want to have your roots somewhere, I think it is it is very, very liberating again to have your own property, because once you have your own house, no matter what happens, right, you're not worried about, then you're only worried about food, right? You're worried about food, you're not worried about shelter. So I think it depends on the personal situation. Financially, yeah, it might not make perfect sense, but it's more of a personal situation, I think you see. Emotional decision, how you see your life panning out. Yeah, you will be paying your EMIs, but once you own your own house, to me it's a big checkbox. If you want to be financially free rooted in one place, it's a big stability factor.